Well, committee members, I asked Katrina to call this meeting. I've got 3 items. One, and we'll start, and I told Darren when we finish, he can leave. As you know, should know, out across from Jack's, there's property that's been there a long, long time, and I think most of the time since I've been mayor and even before that, the Simpson family owned that property. And I know this may go back to Mayor Irons a long way, but there was a piece of property that's sort of inside it that's surrounded, that belongs to the city, and we had the understanding that in order to sell it as surplus property, it would have to go on be a part of the collection process. But Billy talked with Chris Bobo, Land Services, and there's no problem moving forward with that. Darren approached me because I think he bought it at auction. I think it was actually Johnny and Mark, their dad's property. So they have an auction on it, and you and Joseph White bought the property and so you notice they've been doing a lot of clearing. In fact, our area that out there, I think he did a little clearing for us too, which is a positive thing. I talked to Billy, and Billy has got Darren got an appraisal on it. He paid for the appraisal, and now he is asking, and Billy told me he could do a resolution selling this property to him. That's why we're discussing this today. So the appraisal was for how much?
There, 20-something thousand.
Yeah.
I didn't
I think
think
it was done by Scott Wilcox.
You have it,
Oh, you got it, okay. How much is it?
20,000,
Okay.
20 even.
It's kind of a landlocked piece that fronts an alleyway, but there's no road frontage. We wrap all the way around it.
I don't even think the alley's there, is it?
It's there, but it ain't much there.
Yeah.
But it is there.
Yeah, my only concern, which we cleared up, was if it was Parks and Rec property, because that would have had to have gone to like the citywide referendum if it had been that.
If
We
it's
verified it wasn't, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we verified it, but we've researched this many times in the past, and we've never conclusively figured out, and we've talked to people like Herman Graham, who grew up in East Florence, and Grady Lyles. The park had something to do with honoring Grady Lyles, but we don't know if it was ever dedicated. It just says it just says on the tax map, Florence Park and Recreation Department, which isn't even obviously a legal entity.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, I called, finally, we were gonna put it on the agenda for a referendum if need be this time, just so we could dispose of it. But I called Chris Bobo to try to avoid that, and I sent him, and he was familiar with it, and he knew the issues, that it was potentially a dedicated public park. And they researched it, and he called his underwriters, and they said that they had no problem insuring the title. And so when they said that, I felt like we could just sell it.
We've got about 5 acres we bought there,
Yeah.
right at it. And this would put us closer to 6. But just so y'all know what we're doing with it, I have 2 banks looking at the corner. And then I have Dollar General looking at a track because they want off the access road by Crystals. And they want to be in a standalone building. They don't want to be in a shared building in their new locations. And then I've got a hotel group coming in looking at the back half. And that's kind of as far as we've gotten, kind of piecing something together.
I had hoped it would be something that generates sales tax, lodging tax, tourism tax, something.
And I
so it
think
sounds like
somewhere on a
yeah.
piece of it, Joseph and I are probably going to build just a spec shopping center with
A little strip center or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
somewhere on its kind.
But Glendale is the side between you Gold Guns. Is that what it's called?
Gold guns and
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, that's
the road. Is Glendale?
And the other corner down there on the other side, the corner we didn't clear, you've seen it, the little tiny piece? It's owned by the Salmon family's grandson. He's a professor at Sanford, and I spoke with him earlier this week, and trying to buy that last 50
That's
foot by 100.
That's Georgia. Isn't it?
That's Georgia. He's on the corner of Florence Boulevard in Georgia. There's a 50 by 100 piece there we didn't clear. And he's offered he's gonna speak with his wife and he's maybe gonna sell it to us. We'd like to have that little corner piece. That's the only piece we don't have to kind of put it together.
Well, it fits with
But
our
that's on
infill
So
really
you're gonna
well.
lower the grade, if you do, you got a ton of dirt.
We won't lower it all, but some of it, and it'll probably be a stepped development, you know, with retaining walls and the road and the retaining walls, because I don't know that we could ever come out moving that much dirt. It's probably gonna have to be clipped off flat and elevated development. That's my guess. I mean, the hotel developers may think something different, but I'm trying to push them to the back so we can continue to develop along the boulevard.
So it goes back from Glendale to Georgia.
It goes from, yes, from Glendale over to Georgia on Florence Boulevard, and it goes back to this alley. And we got 2 or 3 little odd lots that come with it on the other side of the alley, but the bulk of the property goes to the alley. And the city piece is kind of in the middle, we're horseshoed around it.
Will we need to vacate that alley once you get a complete?
Todd
lease?
Alexander has already started that process.
Okay.
And actually, there's a street you got Glendale and Georgia, well, there was another street that comes up here in dead ends. And he's trying to vacate that kind of splits the 5 acres in half. So he's trying to vacate part of it and the alley. So Todd Alexander surveys.
Certainly be a great use for that property.
I think it will
Just
be.
been sitting there like
Yeah,
that.
we need it to be productive land for the city.
Yeah, and that's kind of the plan.
So, I guess, y'all got any other questions? So, I mean, what I understand, you'd like to expedite it?
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and expedite it, and, you know, if you guys can handle a purchase agreement or closing, or have Bobo
Yeah, we'll
handle
do.
it, set it up, let me know when it's ready, and I'll be
I'll
glad to go
send
close
you
it.
early next week, I'll send you a purchase contract for you to review it, and if you're okay with it, we'll put it on the council agenda, and then we'll just ask Bobo to set the closing.
Okay.
Any motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion on what Billy said.
I'll second that.
I just said, all I
You
said.
all over my legal hands.
No, I'll
Give it to me in layman's terms.
I'll prepare a purchase contract, a real estate sales contract, and send it to Mr. Rhodes for his review, and then as soon as he's in agreement with it, we'll put it on the agenda. And then we'll ask the Alabama Land Services to do the closing, so.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so y'all gotta approve it.
Oh, and the amount,
I made the motion,
Okay.
Blake made the second.
and 20,000, right? That's,
20,000.
okay.
Yeah, the appraised.
At the appraised value.
We have a motion by Mr. Hendricks, second by Mr. Edwards. Any discussion? You want to hear it? Okay, not, all in favor of the motion?
All right, I'm going to all.
You have to stay to the end.
No, man, I'm trying to beat that Birmingham traffic.
Yeah, you
man.
got it.
All right.
Be
Thank
safe.
y'all.
Safe
See
travels.
you. Take care. Thanks, Mayor.
See you, Dan.
I'll be looking for it.
Okay.
Thank
That
y'all.
was fine.
See you.
All right, the second thing Jackie brought to me today
More hot
is,
dogs, Jack.
uh, Shindig, we gave them $10,000, 5 from the council and 5 from the mayor for Shindig, but that didn't happen, so they have refunded that to us, and Jackie's asking that we use that $10,000 for,
Sponsor Shoals Fest, but we wanted to do it in this fiscal year because the money's already been allocated. And I've sent, or had them send to your office what the package options are so that we could do it, make sure that our sponsorship is, we have to get something, in return so that we could align those things so that whatever we would send to the council would
so did
be in
that
that
have to
form.
go to the council?
I don't know, I mean, it has to, we either have to contract with them to provide advertising for the city, or we have to contract with them to provide some other service for the city.
Well, so this started with the request from Shoals Fest because there's inadequate power currently at McFarland, and they bring in
When did they
about,
request this?
they've asked the city give them some money. So every time I see them, I'm surprised they don't every time you see them, and every time you see them. But what I was told is that they bring in $40,000 worth of generators. And they were kind of wanting us to help offset that. Well, obviously, we couldn't do that, and from what I understand, when I talked to Bill, when it gets its upgrades, that power will be there. And, they would really like to stay in the Shoals with this concert, and we, would really like to keep it here. And they were just asking any help they could get towards that 40,000. And then when the shindig money, of course, the budget had already passed, there was no money for that, and I wasn't about to go to Shayna and, all that. But when this shindig canceled and we were getting this $10,000 refund, I thought we could reallocate that and stay on budget and maybe, kind of help offset some of this 40,000 at the same time. Through advertising or tickets or whatever, that we legally have to
But you
work
don't
out.
review that with Elizabeth.
Yeah, I'll ask her about yeah.
About the,
If y'all choose to do that, review that so
Why
you get
does
the
this- Why
information.
did this request go out to the council?
have we got the refund back?
So you can think about it.
We
Because I know we had turned down.
We have talked about it, because Michelle, I remember
We turned down, we didn't, the shindig didn't happen, but I'm talking about this.
No,
Go ahead.
this did, because Michelle is the one that told me when we talked.
Perhaps Michelle knew, but I don't think.
Katrina, I don't remember when we had the conversation or what group, if it, committee. I'm just saying that she said that to make sure that we got it, the legal part. So I know we've had some council discussion about it, but honestly, I don't remember when. But this isn't the first time we've ever talked about it, is what I'm saying.
And that's a huge, huge amount.
Yeah.
October 11th and 12th.
So we're
It's the
talking
most
about,
organized thing I have ever seen.
Yeah.
so we're talking about $10,000?
And it would just take
We
the
just, the money
10,000.
from that and just
Shifting it from Shindig to
redirect it
Shoals
to that.
since they canceled Shindig.
So here's the problem I see is it's in a new year.
You talk about
The
when,
event is, it's gonna be in the new budget year.
so,
Unless unless the contract says they start advertising today. That's the only
They
way.
already advertising.
That's what I'm saying. It just depends on.
If y'all wanna do that, get Jackie to work with Elizabeth and see what we gotta do.
So what we got till,
September 30th.
September 30th, so we can go ahead and spend it, if the advertising is going on, they've already started and stuff. haven't they?
yeah, that'll be
They
at
have
First
to start
Friday
doing
tonight,
the
selling
advertising.
tickets, yeah.
So we'll be all right.
It's just that none of that, the other part of it doesn't, if they don't start doing anything for the city of Florence until October 1st, then it's the next year.
Then you have, okay. All right. I don't see that as an issue because they would add us to their existing advertising once, but they wouldn't do that obviously until after the council
And even
votes
if
to do
it's,
it.
advertising on Facebook or just as long as they started doing,
It's already out there.
but adding the city of Florence or,
So if it goes to the council and then the council approves it, then they would immediately need to add our name
Yes. Correct.
as quickly as they can before the end of the fiscal year. Okay, I'll pass that information along.
What's her name? I can't remember.
Tracy Thomas, yeah. And that's Jason Isbell's manager.
We have a motion. Chairman, chairwoman,
If that's what y'all want to do.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion before? Okay, it's been motioned by Mr. Edwards, second by, Mr. Hendricks. All in favor of the motion? Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
All right, I'll find all that out for you. So,
All right, the third thing was, and Chief was gonna bring it to the Public Safety Committee meeting, but since that it's not gonna happen this afternoon. He's still here to talk about it. Once we did we have met several times about the issue of security in City Hall. Obviously, we had an agenda item and we placed that, and that contract was certified, is in the process, and Jeff's working on that. The other thing that we worked on, and I think the Chief's in agreement with, is that we're gonna have somewhere in this short interim, some kind of training for all our employees, getting them up, and I'm sure the police department can be a part of that. What we can do, what we can't do, how we address the issues out there for appropriate conduct that happens. And I think you're fully okay with that as well.
Oh, sure.
And then the last thing is decision, if you want to move forward with metal detectors and staffing for those. So the chief has some figures, but before we get that, just to let you know, we're also going to ask to replace the metal detector in the City Hall auditorium, which is now non-functional.
How long has it been non-functional?
I can't answer that.
I just found out 2 days ago that it was not functional. I guess it was 2 days ago.
So you want to share what you found out about?
Yeah, sure.
As I understand from talking to Shayna, if we decide to move forward, we can use current funds to purchase the metal detectors. So, and we're looking at two plus the one for the city auditorium. And then you got the figures on that and on the.
Yes. Shayna has the figures on the staffing, I think, and then the comparison if you were to use this versus that. This is very straightforward though, as far as the metal detectors go. There's two for you guys. Give one to Mayor. And that's just 3 portable metal detectors.
Sorry, do you have another one?
Here. Here I.
Bernie?
They're just standard. I'm sorry.
Press that copy. Bernie got a copy. Can I get a copy?
Well, I have to read off of something.
I've seen this, so that's right.
So yeah, they're portable metal detectors. There's 3 of them, $49.50 each, for a total of $14,850. They throw in a free handheld metal detector with that. These are portable, so that means they can be broken down. They can be used at events, either in the building, out of the building, just have a power source. But they also charge; they're chargeable, so they would work for a period of time without a power source. I think there's 100 different settings as far as sensitivity goes. So we'll be picking up a bobby pin in somebody's pocket, so you just kind of dial that into where you want it. And we would just need somebody to man those stations. We would need 2 for City Hall, the way it's currently designed, for the 2 entrances. So we need a person each. And if we do the one for the chambers, of course, that'd be the 3rd.
And you've already got officers available for that.
Yeah, currently we're using a police officer, and she can talk about what that cost is, using an actual police officer to do that.
But we're already doing that with the council.
Yes, sir.
So that wouldn't be anything new.
Not the metal detector.
But instead of using a police officer at the council meetings, you could have an armed security, and it would be a savings by doing that, instead of having a police officer sitting there.
In a security function
yeah.
rather than a law enforcement function.
You're talking about doing that at the council meeting?
I mean,
It's a thought.
yeah, it's a possibility to do that.
So that would be outsourcing to like someone like a certified, someone that has those services.
Right.
What kind of cost savings is this?
We just briefly had mentioned having an officer to sit so an unarmed security guard, 2 of them, assuming a 2,080 hours a year, which is a 40-hour week, 85,280, and 2 armed security guards would be 95,555. If you had 2 PS10 officers sitting at both of those doors, it's $189,962. So
About
if you
that.
had law enforcement sitting at those two doors running those metal detectors, it would cost $189,000.
You talking about the front of City Hall?
Correct. Back
So
there.
the people that's there now, what's gonna happen with them?
Well, there's still gonna be a need, I feel like, for people to kind of direct traffic folks as they come in. I know we're doing a kiosk out there. There's
We are
always
doing a
people
kiosk.
that are gonna ask questions. And this is just a suggestion, it's not really my department at all, so I'm kind of speaking out of school here, but, obviously not eliminate those positions. But repurpose them maybe, make them more of an informational, billet rather than a security function, which if we're just honest, that hasn't worked great over the years. I think the guy coming in with the camera that day was a great example of that. So if we could put them in an informational a deal where they're there, where if you have a question, there's a human being that you can ask, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? And they can provide them information. It's just a.
So they would be the person that helps them if they need to go upstairs and they've got to
Yeah.
find somebody to get them a pass to
Could be.
Yeah,
escort
use
them.
them for that purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they need to go up to the building department, hey, how do I get there? And then they can walk them around and say, this is how you call this number and we'll get you up there. Or they could be the person that walks them up there. I mean, something to that effect.
So the 185, does that also include retirement and all the other, that's
At all.
that's full? Okay.
But the 90 and the 80, that's for two.
Two, either armed or unarmed security guards. So there's
So armed would be, what'd you say, 95, so you're looking about,
100,000 a year
so
for
back.
two of them. Yeah.
Just under 50 there, and that includes everything.
Yeah, now if they worked overtime, obviously
Right.
they would bill us at the time and a half rate. But yeah. And I mean, I know this was just, I had gotten a proposal quote, and so I think, and Billy, I don't know if it would have to be bid out.
I talked to Leanne and she said it would not.
Okay. Because I didn't, that we weren't sure, but, so these were just a quote that I had gotten from a local security company,
But for,
What's the company?
about
Dynamic.
the council meeting, but right now we have a police officer that sits in the council meeting.
You got
Yes.
two. You've been having two.
Yeah, well, we've been having two. So,
But it's not, was it one the other night? It's just back to one?
Yes, after the election's over, so that's.
Okay.
so we have, whatever, but it's, they're just there for, well, I guess they're there.
Sometimes 30 minutes.
But I think it's an average of about
About,
2 to 4, I mean,
I don't
if you
think
go
two and a half,
well,
maybe
at
three.
least,
at most.
What's the work session?
yeah, three to 4. I mean, I think when I was doing an estimate, I was saying the 4 hour
Okay,
average.
so so it'd be cheaper to get somebody else just to sit there for 3 hours
So,
versus a policeman to be there for 3 hours?
wow, I had done.
That's what I'm saying.
She's running the numbers right now, but I believe the answer is yes.
Should be similar, should be about half, right?
I think so.
Well, I had done I have to remember, oh,
So
yeah,
the two that's at in the city hall, have y'all even had any type of discussion with them that this possibly is gonna be changing?
I'm
With,
not.
with the two,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
But the two that we're talking about at our council meetings?
No.
Joe
Oh, you're talking about the other,
and
okay.
Clay.
Joe,
The two
Joe
part-time
and,
folks,
Joe
one
and,
works first half of the day,
Okay.
one works second half of the day.
So what,
So you have not?
Oh.
So you're just gonna spring it on them?
Well, I mean, we'll pass the
We don't have
information
anything to
along
share,
as
yeah.
changes are made, but, I think this is something we've been talking about for a while now. And what we're trying to do is just be more efficient.
Right, I
With our
just
taxpayers.
wanna know if they are aware of this.
As far as I'm
Possible.
concerned, they're not aware of it this time.
right now, nothing's been decided.
Correct.
So when I had originally, we had talked about doing that, or when we came for the last meeting to do the security upgrades. If I took the officers and I had to convert it to an 8-hour day to really show apples to apples, but an 8-hour day for an officer with no overtime would be $199,000. But there was two, a PS11 and a PS10, so there's two different ones. An 8-hour day, assuming it's all overtime, because more than likely when they're at the council session, it is overtime for them, would be $298,000. And that's an annual cost for those on an 8-hour day. So it still would be, even if you have a guard sitting there to do Even if it's paying overtime for one of the guards to have to work the front door, to come down there on the council days and work it, I mean, it could still be, I think, a savings to have those, to do that.
Well, I like the savings plus we're not tying up your resources.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with the front door stuff. I'm just trying to separate the council meeting versus the other. And I still am confused on that. I mean, for the council meeting, we're talking about getting
You could get an additional one.
a private company to come in to do that.
Right.
That'd be part of
Yeah.
the contract.
And that
Yeah.
would be cheaper than, well, okay.
Yeah,
They have
I mean, which this quote was just, I mean, they gave me
Right,
a per hour.
Right.
And so assuming we had two, so I mean, I
Well,
can take this.
Well, I would say, you did it with armed and unarmed. I mean, to me, what's the point of having an unarmed guy there?
that's my view as
I mean,
well.
You
So
know,
the
hire
officers,
me, I'll do it, you know. But, you know, no, I wouldn't.
the officer at the councilman, is he on duty or is this some extra?
It's overtime for him, and the one that works it currently, because that's part of the assignment. Because we have to pull that resource from somebody, we pull it from our cops unit, and he's the sergeant, so he's a PSO, and he's on overtime, honestly.
How do you feel about armed versus unarmed, Ms. Simmons? I know I want somebody on the other side with a gun personally, you know.
I don't see the point of having a guy dressed up as a security guy and all he's got's nothing, a belt on.
Maybe a taser.
I mean, what's the point? He can't, you know, they would protect me. My opinion.
Well, to me, if we've got metal detectors, we're trying to screen for guns. If somebody comes in there with a gun, the person on the other side of the metal detector needs to be equally equipped. Is why I think it's so important that that we go with an armed personnel versus unarmed.
Yeah, and they'll serve that security function, they'll secondary screen folks, which they go through, the light goes on, and, you know, if there's a bag to look through, they'll look through it. And that is literally what they're trained to do. You know, police officers, yeah, we can do that, that's great. But like, we're there for law enforcement purposes, and you're paying a lot more for a police officer than you would for these folks. And if we're not satisfied, or if you weren't satisfied with a particular guard or their behavior, you know, the city wouldn't be responsible for correcting that behavior, the vendor would, that we contract.
I wanted to ask that if we had to ask someone to leave, if they were to the point they needed to just leave the meeting, they have the legal and the authority to do that on our
To
behalf
escort
as a
them out.
council. If Ms. Simmons had to say, I need you to leave, they can do that.
Yes, they can escort someone out for sure. And they can contact us quickly if something seems to be escalating, because we do have, you know, police that are working all the time anyway. One would be close.
So a third guard, and so the council typically just a few hours. It would be cheaper to hire another one opposed to that one in overtime?
A police officer, hire an additional arms. It would, yeah, because I mean, because your overtime is talking, I mean, it's,
Even though it's just a few hours, twice a month?
What you're saying is doing
I mean,
a
it's-
contract,
it's a cheaper per hour rate. I mean, you've got officers that are probably, well, I
but
can.
you wouldn't necessarily, these two officers, would you expect one of them?
Well, with the security upgrades, you're only gonna need one anyways. You're only gonna need one at the door.
You mean for council meeting?
You're not gonna need two, and you're just gonna need
But
one.
I guess what I'm saying, if you're contracted with a company for two officers with a gun, one at short court, one at the other, and that's $95,000. But if you need to bring one of them or whoever they want to send, are we gonna have to pay overtime for them?
Either or, you could either pay overtime for one of them that has to come down to the council auditorium, or you contract for another one.
And that'd be basically 4 hours, 2 times a month.
I don't think we could bring them. I think they've got to send a third person because
Unless you
we
can.
start
Yes,
before
they
City
did,
Hall
yeah.
hosts
Yeah,
us.
I mean, that would be the
One
one
hour,
thing, but.
unless we wanted to close an entrance, I think that's something.
Yeah,
Well, I
but
think that, as Mayor said, that'd be, something to put in the contract.
But-
Yeah.
So that metal detector, it can't be fixed.
I honestly, it's been a day, maybe a day and a half since I heard that it wasn't functional. I'd like to put my eyes on it and see if it can be fixed.
I think you should.
But I have no, and I couldn't fix it. I don't have that kind of expertise, but, yeah, I haven't put my eyes on it since I heard that.
And I understand if y'all decide to do this, the units could come out of this year's budget.
The detectors? Yes.
And the other you would include in the upcoming.
Cause we'll have to get the contract and go through all that, and we would still have to. So I would just say wait and do that until October 1, put it in next year's budget.
But you would include it in the general fund budget for next year.
But go ahead and get the detectors. Of course, you know, you're not gonna have the personnel if they come in to do I mean, I guess you could use the part-time that are there now temporarily to screen through the detectors if you so choose, or just don't set them up yet until we get the security guards in.
well, I personally feel we have a obligation to not only protect ourselves, but the public at these meetings. And also the public as well as our employees in City Hall. I mean,
You know, I always go back, and this goes back to the school board, and I've seen this video twice and this was maybe Missouri someplace. And the police station was right next door, and they had somebody sitting there. And I don't think they ever expected anybody, you know, the guy had been coming for months, and he didn't escalate anything, and he'd had some problems along the way. And, you know, they thought they were safe because they're right there by the police station. But as I understand, 5 people died in less than 45 seconds, and there wasn't a damn thing, you know, the police department.
45 seconds.
Yeah, and that's keeping in mind that a police, that's a headquarters building. It's not a building full of cops. I mean, all the cops are out being cops.
That's
They're
right.
patrolling neighborhoods and answering 125 calls a day.
Yeah, it was
they're
like
doing
the time
what they-
that guy came in, the time he left was 90 seconds. And he tore up Jack and crossed.
You just never know who's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
use it.
I hate, we have to think about that, but it's a very real possibility out there today.
And our patrol officers will always, anytime there's any event, we make them very aware that, hey, that's happening in your patrol sector. And that won't change. We'll have on-duty patrol officers that they will know, hey, there's a work session today, there's a council meeting today. So you patrol those areas anyway. It's just what they do. So having one close, also having the security function in there, it is going to be better security. I feel.
I
More
think we need to move on, well, obviously, our position.
So, I mean, I would put
Well,
this in the
maybe-
budget, so I don't
I
think
go
there's really
with
anything to do.
But we can get the, what do we call the things, the
Metal detector.
metal detectors.
I wouldn't set them up yet.
Go ahead and get those, and then set them, have them ready to be set up when you get the personnel in to monitor the thing. But go ahead and get if you need to get them in this year's budget. This is my suggestion.
Yeah, my only other addition to that is I agree with Ms. Simmons about checking on the repairs, because right now we don't have a backup, right?
Not that I know of.
And even buying these 3, we're still gonna need a backup in case one of those goes down. So if that one is repairable and we can have it as a backup, then, you know,
I mean, we haven't checked them to see if there's somebody that knows how to do that. Right?
I mean,
I'm sure there is though.
but we can compare
It's a
that
check.
to this replacement cost, and so, you know,
Yeah, we make that a priority. Do that. First thing beginning of the week. or next.
So will you expedite that thing?
Sir?
I mean, will you expedite
Yes,
checking
sir.
of that?
Yes, sir.
So did you make a motion?
Well,
He
is
did not,
it,
he was just talking.
I just,
Well, I was
I mean,
wondering,
I don't know if it's our place to make the motion, or is that public?
Should come through public safety.
Public safety or something. I don't overstep somebody else,
And it really
Right.
should.
but I mean,
And I'm not ready to move. I wanna have an opportunity to do my due diligence and look at this stuff.
That's the
But I
plan.
mean,
I can send this to y'all. I mean, like I said, and this is the quote for the security.
to me, we've done.
But again,
And
this
the
will
part
be
of
until the 26th budget. So
but
there's-
still,
I know. It's fine.
Did anybody not get, David, did you ever get your copy?
Yes, I did, sir.
Great. Who did not? Who walked away without one?
I've got it, I've
Okay.
already got it.
Well, for me, we've done half of it, getting the card reader, whatever it is. We're not through. I mean, that's just a piece of
the pie.
the puzzle. One is, the other piece is metal detectors, and then the other getting somebody to monitor. So we just,
three-step process.
Yeah.
So you're gonna check on the current one?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Are you on public safety?
I got freed up, so heck, I may even go down there. Lazy.
So,
My afternoon got freed up.
so can we not go ahead and approve this and then let it go to public safety and that give you your time?
You mean approve of the smart detectors?
The cost.
Well, if you're gonna approve it, what's the point of going to public safety?
So then.
So
gonna
that's,
need to come
so
back
it's
to
in
site
place when public, if
finance.
it's got a clear public safety to go to the full council.
I would rather it go through public safety, then they make their recommendation.
And then come back to finance again.
That's what I'm trying to do, is eliminate that extra step.
I don't
Because if it doesn't go
know.
through public safety, it's dead.
Which
It
one?
gets into the
The
council.
equipment doesn't have to go to council because there's no installation cost. There's no contract required.
Right.
So he just
Portable.
buys those. It's a large PO and buy it.
If it goes, if it clears public safety.
Yeah, it does not.
So we
have
don't need to do anything.
You're not even gonna see it at council. It won't go to council. That one.
We would approve it, blah, blah, blah. It would be in the budget if approved.
This will, they won't now. So you would have to approve those to fund them now and go ahead and order them now, but it doesn't have to go to council because there's no labor, no installation, no cost. It's just equipment to buy. This will, but it'll be in the budget in 26. So this is
So
not
you're trying to
happening.
do this in 2025 budget.
That, yes.
Okay.
We need to move on it. If we're gonna get it in the 2025 budget.
You have a right to make a motion.
I make that motion
What's your motion?
that we move forward with buying the three and look into the repairs to have it as a backup. And that way Shayna can get it in before the year's out with budgeted funds.
I'll second that.
I thought I was gonna die for like a second. I just have to live
I
with
just
it.
wait for her to get through writing.
The motion by Mr. Hendricks to move forward, make sure I get this right, to move forward with purchasing 3 detectors, and Chief is gonna check on the repairs and the cost for the current one, the gas chambers. And second by Mr. Edwards.
You got it.
All in favor of the motion? Opposed? Not opposed to that, that's when I look, take my time to look. Okay. That's it.
That it? We adjourn.
You're gonna check with the Leslie